Welcome back, guys. And just to go over real quick what we've covered so far in the past demos, we have created a terrain using a height map. We have painted textures on top of our height map by creating our terrain layers. We've created cactuses and added them to our environment as trees. And we've created a fog effect, adjusted the position of our sun, and we have also added post-processing effects to our scene. The next thing that we need to do is add grass and more details to our terrain. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So again, you want to go back to your terrain, and again, you have like all of these different tabs over here. So if you go over here, that's something that looks like flowers. That's where you have your details. Now you can add your boulders by painting details with that too, but I actually like to place them manually as well because you have more control. But if you want to just like mass place them, you can do that using the same technique that you did with the trees. And you want to add your grass over here as well. So in order to do that, I already have a boulder over here. It's a rock that I got from Turbo Squid. It's a cool website that you can download a bunch of models from. So if you can get free models and stuff too from here. But you should probably read their license agreements and stuff to be able to use them for your projects. But as you can see, some of them cost money, and then you can go to the price settings here and you have like some free ones as well. So anyway, so that's where I got one of these rocks from. But if you want to make your own in ZBrush or Maya, you are more than welcome to. I mean, I would do that, but this is just to do a quick demo. To save on time, I just like used this. All right, so before I start adding the rocks, I want to show you guys how to do the how to add the grass over here. So for this, you need to actually jump into Photoshop here. I am going to create a new file, and let's just leave it to that. And just to show you guys, oh, we have a background that's like black, so I'm just gonna, we need a black background. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna create a new layer, and I am gonna use a hard brush. I'm gonna make sure that my shape dynamic is set to pen pressure. I do not have my tablet hooked in, so I am gonna do that real quick. Or actually, I'm just gonna fade. There, that's fine too. So I'm going to reduce the size of my brush. Ooh, not black. We want this to be white. So we're going to start painting our opacity set to 0. Okay, so going back to our brush settings here. I wonder. There. Let's do this to 150. Cool. I mean, it's better if you're using your stylus, you know. So back to your brush settings here. I'm just gonna go ahead and like up this to like 500 maybe there. And start painting. Anyway, so using your stylus, you would probably do a better job, and I'm just using the mouse to show you guys roughly how I did it, and then add another layer. Maybe that's like a grayer layer. So this is what you want for like a sort of a gradation, and then you can paint your grass texture like that. And you eventually want something that looks like here, this is what I've created. So I used my stylus, that definitely looks a lot better. When you do that, you want to make sure you have a mask, and in your channels you have an alpha layer created. You need the alpha channel. Make sure that you have that, because with that, or you can create a mask. I think that should work too, but you actually want your alpha layer here. I think this is, yeah. So when you have that, you're just gonna save that directly in your assets folder. In here, I have saved that right here. And then when you go here, you're just gonna leave that to default. You just wanna make sure that alpha is transparency, else it will look like this. So when you check alpha is transparency and hit apply, that's what it's gonna look like. And then you have your texture ready. We're gonna go to our terrain, and what we are gonna do is we are gonna go to edit our details, and we're gonna add a grass texture. We're gonna use this texture file that we have, and we're gonna adjust these colors for our grass. So since this is desert grass, it's not super green, and we can always adjust these colors while we're working on our project to see what they look like. So these are the two color gradations that I'm going to be using. Did I add it, or did I just hit close? I think I just hit close. Okay. I want to make sure, maybe like a lighter color. I don't know. We'll fix it later. Can just do this for the time being. And then this shows you the minimum width and the maximum width and height. What you can do is have small grass. Baby's crying in the background. How do I pause this recording? Change this to 5 and 5, and we're gonna hit add. So when you add that, that's gonna show up over here. And when it does, I'm just gonna go to my main camera and start painting over there. Okay. So where is our camera? Where are ya? I don't see you. Where are you, man? Oh man, I don't see it. Never mind. I'm just going to start painting the grass here. It's somewhere here. I'm going to increase the size of my brush here. Start painting. And you can see we sort of have a grass. But what I don't like about this is that it's billboard. And what that means is it's always going to be facing the direction of the camera. And that's not really what grass is like. See how the grass is moving as the camera moves? So that's not what grass looks like. So you can actually go here and click on edit. You want to uncheck billboard. But when you do that, you can see that it no longer is rotating like that. So once you start painting it like this looks a little better. I think that's what grass looks like. And that's super dark grass. You can adjust the color by going back to edit details, and let's see, you can actually see it happen over here. So if I were to change this, see how the grass height changes and the width. And then you can make this a little lighter, make this even lighter. I don't know. So I think that looks good. So yeah, so you can do that. I think that's way too tall, so I'm gonna reduce that. That's fine. And then you can start adding the texture or start painting your grass around like that. Now if I were to go to my main camera and hit W, where are you? Oh, that's because of the post-processing. I can't see it. All right, so that looks good. And now I'm just gonna add the rocks. You can again add your rocks by going to detail mesh and select a game object. You can go to your assets and like choose an object if you want. If I were to do this, like I can, and just like that, you can do that. Vertex lit is for mesh, and color mode, again, you don't want it to be, you can adjust those. I didn't revise this beforehand, so what is that area? That's where the grass is. Okay, so you can start adding. Oops, I have the grass selected. Oh, I didn't add that again. Detail mesh. I apologize for that. And we're just gonna do this and just hit add. There you go. You have it here. You can start adding it in here. As you can see that the rocks, it started adding those rocks in there. Anyway, I'm actually not going to add the rocks like that, so. There, that removed that, and I think it's also removing the grass. So I'm just gonna add the grass back again in here. You can start creating paths. That looks a little too dark. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and see if I can fix this. That's fine. Kind of forgotten what I had set it up for my other scene, the grass settings. But you can again like tweak with this, so adjust this if you want. Anyway, so I'm gonna reduce the temperature a little. No, this is fine. And then you can start adding your boulders. So I have that rock in here. I haven't assigned the material yet, but here you have that. That looks super dark because of the light setting. I'm actually just gonna move the camera or the light to another position. Oh, hue shift. I don't know. if I used that saturation. Anyway, so like I said, you can start tweaking those different values to what you think looks good. I'm actually going to compare this to what I had before. And then, so, start adding boulders and stuff. And then you can just like start mass placing them. Command D is what you can use to duplicate an item or a game object, I should say. So you can start placing things around here. I actually don't love these colors as much as I loved in the other one because I spent some good time working on that. I think I had some settings with the tint, was it tint that I used? I'm not sure. I mean, still, it looks much better with the post effects than it does without. So, I think that's way too much exposure. So we can reduce that. Alright, so you can start adding your rocks and stuff like that. And I'm sorry I didn't go over how to create the material. All you do is create a basic material and you can call it, say, rock, mat, or material or whatever, and then drag and drop your albedo, your normal map, your occlusion layer, and I think this is the height there. So it gives you something like that and you can just like apply it. Alright, so that's it for how to create a desert terrain. You can go ahead and tweak the settings and just play around with the color and saturation to show you guys exactly what I have in the other scene. We can just go over this. I'm just gonna hit save, and that's kind of similar. I just have, this is a little more blue, so we can just like change that there. And I think I have the main camera lowered a little in that scene. And yeah, so if I go here, I hit save, it's, I think, like a little so that's probably the ambient occlusion that we want to reduce intensity. So we have the ambient occlusion, and you can just like match it up like that, you know. So if you increase the thickness, you can see how that's also affecting the overall aesthetic of it. Ambient only. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so this is good. Pretty similar to what we have over here. Again, that's a little more red. That's probably because we have some settings that are slightly different in our post-processing. But again, if you check over here, without our post effects, this is what the scene looks like, and this is what it looks like with it. So makes a huge difference. So going back here, save, post effects again, pretty similar. It's this position of the sun that's like different, so we have like super dark shadows and stuff. But yeah, so pretty similar. Color grading is probably what it is. And there. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, you can match it up visually if you want and start painting all those details. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your projects.